Hello everyone, this is Mentor Val and welcome to the 12th lesson of ZEPETOR class retouching. This is the 4th week and today we're going to be learning how to draw a background. Today I'll be showing you how I made two backgrounds. This is the first one. I just put in this little time lapse of me drawing this gun because I considered it part of the background as it is an object and I drew it. So usually I do like to collage stuff from a background if it gets too complicated. In this case you see me just drawing an outline of the gun, breaking it up into shapes just like I have taught many times before. And so I drew the gray part first. I drew the gray part of the gun first, and then I drew the black underneath, hooking it around her finger just like in the reference, and erasing accordingly. Of course, I also adjust using my perspective mode and my select tools, but as you can see here, I'm just trying to find some stuff in add mode to give the gun some highlights without needing to do too much extra work. So obviously, when you look at your background stuff, you need to find your essential elements, and I'll get into more detail later. But as you can see, I'm doing stuff in add mode now, where I'm accentuating some lines and also giving the gun some shine to make it look more metallic. I also selected a part of it to match the reference better. Like I just changed the thickness of one side, made it a little bit thinner on one side. To start, we have to find our essential elements of the background. In this case, I'm looking at the stairs, the split in the wall, the door. First, I'm going to use my pen fade brush and create the light wallpaper stripe just so I can lay it out. Afterwards, I'm going to draw the door. Simple outline using the brown that I color picked from the reference, and also I'm going to go in with a darker brown to draw the shadowy parts of the door. Then I'm also going to draw the stairs. So I drew it a little differently because my drawing is in a square 1x1 canvas. So I wanted to compact the stairs to make them part of the background more, even though in the actual reference you can see that the stairs are kind of behind the big gun. But yeah, it looks a little different in that regard, but that's only if you want to get nitpicky. So I'm also drawing those like black rails down the stairs, just in small stripes, also using my pen fade brush, by the way. I'm drawing those little curvy things next to the rails conjoining them. I'm adding the lighting sporadically throughout, as you can see. I should have done it in steps, but in the time lapse you can just see me adding the light to the top of the stairs, to the top side of the wallpaper, and also the rails. As long as the essential elements are there, the background will resemble your reference, just like how it is now, even though everything's not exactly 100% accurate. Next, I'm going to move on to those little stains on the wall, and how I do that is I get a darker shade of brown in pen fade also, and I lower the opacity and just smear it around in small dots. You should try and be more creative with your brush use because you can also use brushes to mimic materials, such as using an oil hairbrush to mimic cord wires. I've done that before and it does work. Next, I'm editing this background in real time. It took me only about 2 to 3 minutes, and here you can see me just color dropping the background to a simple blue. Afterwards, I'm going to draw the buildings in the back, and in the reference they're quite blurry, so I'm going to imitate that as well in my edit. I'm keeping them blurry and relatively straight by zooming out to ensure that none of them are flying off the edge or anything. I'm using a ZEPETO shading brush to do this, and I'm not really conscious of the straight lines as you can see, just because they're blurry in the back, so I'm just keeping them as vague shapes, but clear enough where you can tell that these are buildings. Once I'm done with the right side, I'm going to zoom out and proceed to draw the left side. I have to make sure that the tip of the line is level to that of the right side, just so that the buildings look proportionate and the background doesn't look too crazy. I'm also noticing that that little building is a bit too slanted, so I'm just making it straighter over there. And I'm also adding a little hint of black at the very bottom of the right side because that is what the reference looks like as well. And you can now see my layers here stacked up. I'm going to make another one, clip it to the background layer, and put it in add mode because I'm going to be creating some stars and adding other elements in the background that are not there, but I can do that just because it's a 2D drawing and it's good to add some fun elements in the background. First, I'm going to add stars, and you can see me just using my glitter brush to create stars here. For me, using my glitter brush in add mode is a great way to emulate the feeling of a starry sky or galaxy. I'm just drawing in small light strokes, And after that, I'm going to use another brush, my simple shading brush, where I go in on the add layer as well to create the faint lights in the buildings. This background was relatively simple to make, but the essential elements equivalents are still there. For example, we obviously need the blue sky. That's done. Second, we need the black outlines for the buildings in the distance. We have that. And thirdly, we need small lights coming from the buildings. We're doing that right now. And here we have the finished edit with a completed background. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful for you. And please stay tuned for the rest of this week because we still have lots to do, such as finding an editing style. And I'm also going to be hosting a Q&A where I'll answer your questions in a video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.